Welcome back. We are now joined by Mark Matthews with Edward Jones. Mark, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to, Mary Grace. Hello.
Hello. Today we are in tax season, so we're going to be talking about tips to help you avoid common tax scams. It's very important. Tax season is already stressful enough without worrying about scams, so we're going to make sure you all out there are prepared for what you may see. So Mark, why don't you just start us off with these tips and we can get into them and maybe what some of those tax scams are that we should be aware of and try and avoid.
Sure. And of course, the scammer, they may say who knows what, all kinds of things, but the tip off that there's probably some kind of scam being put onto you is that the IRS will not call or email you without sending prior written notification. They always start off with a letter, and they're never going to write you an email or a phone call, and they're not going to leave a pre-recorded message or a threatening message. They will not ask for checks to be sent to third parties. They will not threaten arrest by the police or any other law enforcement group, and they will definitely not be asking to be paid in debit cards or gift cards or stuff like that. Whenever you hear that, you know it's a scam.
Okay, so they'll be sending you a letter. Do not listen to a weird call or an email from the IRS, somebody claiming to be from the IRS. That is not how they will be reaching out.
That is correct,
Okay.
yes. And so, those are some of the tip-offs that a scam is heading your way. Some things a person can do to help negate that. You can freeze your credit rating. There's ways to do that they talk about at identitytheft.gov, and that would be a source of information there. Something I've seen people do is file their taxes as early as possible. I have had folks I know go to file their taxes, and lo and behold, they've already been filed. And you think, well, how on earth could that happen? But it does happen where, and maybe they're filed in some crazy way where the perpetrator gets a huge refund or something like that, and the real person is in a bind. They have to go to the IRS and get special provisions to file their real taxes and have to do it in paper form for several years to stay away from the internet. So the quicker you file, then you kind of head off the potential filing by somebody else on your behalf. If you really want to be protected, you can get what's called an identity protection PIN, which the IRS assigns you a unique 6-digit number that you would plug in when you're doing your taxes. IRS.gov has information about that. Work with a reputable tax preparer, not someone that doesn't have a preparer tax identification number, someone that wants you to file or sign a blank tax return, someone who promises a big refund and they haven't even looked at your stuff yet. That's a real good tip off that they're not on the up and up. Or someone that just pops up out of nowhere, doesn't have an office, things like that. And so plenty of scams out there, and the more you can know about them and how they work to try to avoid them. If you see fraud or aware of fraud, report it to help other people not get stuck with that kind of situation and to stop these scammers before they scam some more.
Definitely. So real quick, you just want to be aware of that communication by the IRS, how they communicate, know exactly how it's done so you're not falling for anything, freezing your credit with major credit rating bureaus if you need to, filing your taxes early, getting identity protection PIN from the IRS, and of course working with a reputable tax preparer. If anything is weird, report it to the IRS for sure. Mark, how can people reach out to you with Edward Jones if they have any questions on this, focusing on financial goals, anything like that?
You bet. So, best quick, easy way is to go to edwardjones.com, and you can search for St. Joseph or your zip code, and either one of those ways will direct you to advisors convenient to you. We don't provide tax advice or legal advice, but these ideas here, this applies to all of us, and things that you can be aware of. So we'll be glad to help.
Definitely, definitely. Mark Matthews, again with Edward Jones, thank you for joining us, giving us this good information. We need it right now.
Thank you, Mary Grace.